Hi guys, welcome to the Golden Cruiser. I'm Cindy and today we're going to be talking about some game-changing secrets for travelers over 60. So in this video, I'm going to go over 10 game-changing secrets for travelers that are over 60. So grab a drink, maybe a snack, sit back and relax, and let's talk cruising. Number one is the school holiday sabotage. Now, most cruisers don't realize that cruise lines market family-friendly sailings during peak times, knowing mature travelers will pay premium prices to avoid the crowds. Families with children are locked into school holiday schedules, but older travelers are not. So while parents are scrambling for expensive summer and holiday bookings, you can call the cruise line or your travel agent and tell them you're looking for the quietest, adult-focused sailings outside of school holidays. That way you'll pay less and won't get on ships with all these families and higher prices because it's during peak seasons. Book Caribbean cruises in November through early December for the best savings, Mediterranean in June or early September, and Alaska in May. Now these windows offer good weather sometimes. I was in Alaska last May and it wasn't that great, but it was still a good trip. Rained all the time mostly. You'll get lower prices and mostly adults only on board, which is true. Number two is solo cabins. Now, cruise lines prefer you don't know that solo cabins exist in limited quantities. Sometimes these options are buried deep in booking options that you might not see. This way you will be charged for double occupancy instead of booking a solo cabin. So if you're a single, you would have to pay for two people in a cabin. Every major cruise line now offers solo cabin accommodations, but they book up fast. So when you book, call the cruise line or go through a travel agency and ask the cruise line for their solo cabin inventory. And ask if they have those available. And if they say they don't have any available, ask them if they can set you on an alert for when a cancellation becomes available. And that way you can get into the cheaper solo cabins. Now, Celebrity, Holland America, and Norwegian have the most solo cabins of any of the cruise lines, but you need to book 12 to 18 months ahead of time, because a lot of solo travelers want these rooms, and then they have special areas for the solo travelers also, like lounges and some eating areas where you can meet up and meet other solo passengers. So another thing you can do is use the website called vacationstogo.com, and they have a solo deal section that will track availability across all cruise lines of what's available in solo cabins. So check out vacationstogo.com, the solo cabin section. Number three, premium lines. Now, mass market cruise lines like Carnival, Royal Caribbean offer senior discounts to fill ships during peak times, but they're still charging you for products designed for families. What they don't advertise is that premium cruise lines often provide better overall value once you factor in included amenities and adult-focused experiences. So tell your travel agent you want to see the cost comparison, including gratuities, beverages, and specialty dining between these mass-marketed ships, say like Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and premium cruise lines. You might be surprised. Cruise lines like Celebrity and Princess include a lot of these amenities in them. So if you factor in your peace of mind and adult atmosphere, premium actually costs less. So if you see a regular ship like Carnival and Royal Caribbean, but you want to be paying extra for like specialty dining and beverages and this and this and this, it's going to actually could end up costing you more than just going with one of the premium lines that offers all included, which is like Virgin Cruise Lines, adult only, 18 and over, and they do have everything included, all dining, beverages, everything. So you might want to look into that. Get a travel agent and they'll find the best one for you at the best price. Number 4, specialty dining. Now, specialty dining restaurants on cruise ships, these are the restaurants you have to pay extra for, often offer an early bird and late night pricing that is never advertised in promotional material. They assume passengers won't ask about flexible dining times. Well, on embarkation day, visit some of these specialty restaurants or one that you're interested in and ask them what off-peak dining discounts do you offer for late or early reservations. You can often get 25 to 50% off the published prices by going usually 5:30 or 9:30 time slots are the best to get you the best savings. So check into that. I wasn't really aware of that, but I think on my next cruise I'm going to go talk to some of these specialty dining restaurants so I'll know if they have these things or not, and then I'll report back to you guys when I find out about it. Number 5, excursions. Now, most cruisers don't realize that cruise lines assume that if you're over 60, you want the boring tours, that you're on a tour bus with minimum walking, you're just packed on a tour bus, you get off for a minute and look at something, and then they're like, you have to get back on. So they package low energy, high markup excursions, and they treat you like fragile passengers instead of adventurous adults. Just because we're old doesn't mean we can't get out there and do things. I'm going to be 70 next week. Anyway, so skip booking through the cruise lines and tell your cabin steward, hey, I'm planning independent touring. Can you recommend reliable local contacts for me? Or ask friends that have been on cruises before who they went through. Or you can use third-party vendors like shoreexcursionsgroup.com. A lot of times they have these excursions that are a lot cheaper than the cruise line, and they do guarantee you will get back to the cruise ship on time. Or just go into the town and visit the visitor center and ask them for reliable tours in the ports that you would be interested in, and then you could probably get a much better rate. Number 6 is cabin location. Now here's the mistake that some passengers make that disturbs their comfort and sleep, especially if you're booking like a guaranteed cabin or doing a bid to upgrade on a cabin. Cruise lines assign cabins based on availability, not optimal placement for mature travelers. They won't tell you that certain deck locations guarantee better sleep, better access, and fewer disturbances because they want the flexibility to place you anywhere on the ship. So when booking, if you're booking through a travel agent or the cruise agent, request what you want, such as midship cabin between decks 6 and 8, away from the kid zones and crew areas. Make sure and review the deck plans before you book. Look at the deck plans. You can see what is above you, what is around you. Make sure you're not by the pool, that you're not underneath the pool because they drag those chairs out early in the morning and back late at night. Make sure you're not under the theater or a nightclub. So if you're going through the travel agent or through the cruise, ask them to put you in the location you want without these areas. Take a look at the deck plans. I always do that before I book my cruise. I look what is around us, above us, below us, and make sure I'm not in any of these areas. Also, if you have a problem walking, make sure you are not far, far away from an elevator. Our last cruise, I did a bid for an upgrade. I won the upgrade. It was a very nice cabin, but we were so far from the elevator. So after coming back from an exhausting day of being out in port or just going around the cruise ship, we'd get off the elevator and walk and walk and walk and walk to get to our room. So on this cruise that I have next month, I looked at the deck plans and I got us pretty close to the elevator. And no, it's not noisy being by elevators. I have been by elevators before on cruises. We were right across from one on a Princess cruise, and it was wonderful. Walked out our door, got right on the elevator, and there was never noises or anybody gathering right there and talking. And then number 7 is medical emergencies. Now, ship medical centers charge emergency room prices for basic treatment, and they aren't equipped for serious issues. So pack a first aid kit, which also includes things like tooth repair or tooth pain, like if you have a toothache, something like Orajel or something like that, because cruise ships do not have dentists or anyone that can treat tooth issues. Bring all your medication with you. Make sure you carry that on with you. I have heard that you can split some medicines between your carry-on and your checked bags. That way, if something happens with your carry-on bag, then you'd have extra medicine in your luggage, or vice versa. If your luggage gets lost, then you'd have it on your carry-on. And make sure you take your medicine in your prescription bottles with the labels on them. The best thing to do is get travel insurance, especially for seniors like me. I always take travel insurance now. It's not that expensive. On our next 7-day Princess cruise, I'm paying $9 a day and paying $2 a day for my granddaughter. And that's on a 7-day cruise. Make sure that if you take travel insurance, it covers everything and that it has evacuation covered from the ship, because that could cost you $10,000 or more if you got ill on the ship and needed to be evacuated to a local hospital. So make sure and get travel insurance. It is really worth your peace of mind, and you never know what's going to happen. Number 8 is repositioning cruises. Now, cruise lines barely advertise repositioning cruises. They're usually twice yearly when these happen, when ships are relocating to different regions, and they're usually family free with not a lot of kids because they're in school at these times. So look into these. Now, the repositioning cruise would say, for an example, I think up in Alaska, one of the cruise ships just did their final cruise for the season. Alaska sailings only usually go from May to September, and then they're done for the year because of the weather up there. And then they reposition. Usually they'll reposition down to Southern California and start the Mexican Riviera cruises or wherever else they're going. So you're paying for one way, so you'd have to leave from like Vancouver, Seattle, or even a port in Alaska, and then you would end up in a port in LA. So these repositioning trips are usually very inexpensive. So look into those. And then another thing a lot of people do, they do the one way down to California, and then once they're there, they hop on another ship to take that Mexican Riviera cruise, or they just stay on and do back-to-back cruising, and it's less expensive for them. In April, they do the Atlantic crossings from the Caribbean to the Mediterranean. In October, there's a lot of repositioning cruise ships with good bargains. So book these 15 to 18 months in advance as they sell out early. You can go through your travel agent or call the cruise lines or just look online for the repositioning cruises and see what's available. Number 9, loyalty programs. Now, cruise lines have hidden loyalty status, matching and acceleration programs for mature travelers, but they only offer them when pressed about them. They assume you will slowly earn your status over years. And yes, it takes years or a lot of cruising to get up there. Call the cruise line's loyalty department and say, I'm a frequent luxury traveler looking to consolidate my cruise spending. What status matching or fast track options do you offer? Many cruise lines have unpublished policies, so bring documentation of hotel elite status or higher up their credit card spendings. A lot of these cruise lines will combine those loyalty programs for luxury hotels and things like that onto your cruise loyalty programs. Princess, Celebrity, and Holland America often offer match and acceleration status for valued mature travelers who ask directly. So make sure you check into that. Just call and ask the loyalty program person, and they'll let you know about that. And number 10, the last one, is the ship within a ship upgrade. Now, even on family-friendly lines, exclusive ship within ship areas like MSC has their yacht club, Norwegian has the Haven, and Royal Caribbean has a suite area which create adult sanctuaries with dedicated pools, restaurant, and lounges. So you're like a ship within a ship. You have your own separate area which is mostly adults only. You don't have the noise. You have your own pool, your own dining venues. Now you can go into the other part of the ship anytime you want, or you can just stay in this area. You have everything there you need. Now, a lot of times, if you price these areas, because these areas do cost more than just booking a regular ship. A lot of times you might have your own butler, or you're really catered to and have a lot of nice things being in these sections. So you might think it's too much money for these. But start checking into cruise lines. If you compare, maybe you have everything included in one of these areas on this ship where you wouldn't on another and have to pay extra. It might come out actually better for you to book one of these. And you're eliminating all the chaos of the kids running around and things like that. So check into that next time. If one of these areas like the Haven, the Yacht Club, is actually a better idea for you than going with a more premium line, maybe Celebrity or even Princess that doesn't have as much kids on there. This might work out cheaper for you and in your own area. So there you have it, some secrets that maybe you've heard about or not. Let me know if you know of any other tips or secrets that I haven't heard of. And hopefully we can get together again on my channel and talk about some more cruising. So I want to thank you for stopping by today. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to my channel. It really does help me out. So everybody have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again on the Golden Cruiser. Bye for now.